Hey, welcome back to Helmets and Headbands. Jared and I here, and Keith, episode 13. We got a jam-packed show. We're going to cover all the NBA that happened over the weekend. We're going to even talk about some NBA players we think that could transition into the NFL. Just
kind of a fun topic, something fun to talk about.
Just something to talk about. We're going to have a little chat with Nicholas Duran of Innova Discs. He's going to review the Roc X3 for us during the disc golf segment, and then we're going to end it with our usual, some gaming, some Overwatch, and so we got a full show for you. We're going to kick off the NBA just like always with Jared's Player of the Week.
All right, so this week, I know it's sort of in the headlines. Everybody's buzzing all about it, and when I choose my Player of the Week, sometimes I try to avoid the obvious for just a number of reasons, because it's so in your face, and I like to use it as something to like I've had Bobby Portis in the past and stuff like that. But I mean, this week and this weekend, it's so hard to just pick outside the lines when you look at what LeBron did in the series against Toronto. I mean, all day today, all you hear on all the radio stations is now LeBron. People are loving the argument that LeBron's better than Jordan.
Yep.
Just the pure dominance that he's shown, the speed in his legs, the hop, the burst, his average was 36 points during this series. And I mean, he's still playing around 40 minutes a game. Averaging nearly 10 rebounds, right around 5 assists. But the thing that is sort of new this postseason is his efficiency from 3.
Yeah.
So he shot 48% from 3 this series.
Insane.
Which is, I mean, that is lights out for LeBron, who has never been known as sort of a 3-point shooter. He's been known as like a drive and kick and dish and just a facilitating big brute scorer. But now he's showing you that he can hit the 3 ball. He's even shooting better at the free throw line as he went 45 for 54. So, I mean, he's shooting free throws better. He's shooting more efficient from 3. He's scoring he's the best player in the playoffs right now. I know people like to argue that Kawhi is the best player in the series so far, but I mean, LeBron does what he does, and I feel like when he does something like sweep a Toronto team that everybody thought was built to beat this LeBron James team. They went, even in the middle of the season, they made accusations at the trade deadline to beat LeBron.
Yep.
And to not even get one game just shows how dominant and how incredibly just good he's been this series.
Yeah, how talented he really is. And it really goes to show, I mean, Toronto pushed him to 6 games last year.
They didn't have the pieces that they had to sort of stop LeBron, like the PJ Tuckers and the Serge Ibaka, to play smaller, to get PJ, who's a very, very good defender, big body,
really
who's
good
not afraid to
all-around
bang.
player, who I think people maybe didn't know.
He was sort of buried in Phoenix, you know?
Yeah, he really was.
I mean,
maybe people
West
didn't know
Coast
him
and
that
Phoenix
much
team
now,
that hasn't really been in the highlights besides Devin Booker is obviously great for them. But, yeah, I mean, like I said, Toronto built this team to beat Cleveland, and they didn't even give them a chance. It was just a sweep, and a dominant sweep as that, where LeBron's faking drinking beer when he's falling into I mean, it just shows people have sort of wondered, is this a show of disrespect from LeBron because of the ease in which they did beat, I mean, Toronto. They just absolutely crushed them. And you hear DeMar DeRozan in the post-game interview saying, like, well, they're asking him, like, how the series went and, like, why do you think they got swept? And he straight up was like, well, if we had LeBron, we probably would have beat him. So it just shows that, like, other great, I mean, DeMar DeRozan's a top-tier player in the NBA. And if he's even sort of putting LeBron on that pedestal, that just shows the rest of the league. And, I mean, everybody knows who's top dog. I mean, it's very obvious they swept the first 2 rounds, and I don't think the Wizards or the Celtics, I mean, like I said, it's hard because I thought Toronto was going to give them a decent series.
Yeah,
so even in the conference finals, regardless which team it is, I mean, the way LeBron's playing, he looks as good as he ever has. So it'll be interesting to see.
He's only 32, and you and I were talking the other day, like, when do you see him falling off?
It's so weird because
he literally is still super physical. You can see now that he can transition to taking 3 balls and stuff.
Absolutely.
And that's what he's
it's
gonna
seamless.
do. Once his body starts to fall apart, I think he's just gonna turn into one of those range shooters, and a guy that's super good.
He's still gonna be able to see the floor. He's still gonna be able to pass. I mean, he's up there with the best passer in the entire NBA. So, as far as like a Cavs Raptors, just wrap up. Toronto, what are they going to do in the offseason now? I mean, Kyle Lowry I just saw today that he opted out of his $15 million for next year. So he's looking for a max deal. But, I mean, he's in his early 30s, not necessarily a defensive-minded point guard.
I got something. Just to reroute back for a minute, when do you see him trailing off? Jordan was 34 when he won his 6th title.
That's still...
So, I mean, that was in the 90s. Think about how much better health, like all of that stuff has been. Mm-hmm. He might win his last title when he's 36, 37. You know, like the primes of players has extended. That window's not the same. So trying to compare like that is difficult when science and everything involved.
I just think the thing that people are just amazed with when it comes to LeBron, outside of all of his achievements on the floor, his ability to stay healthy.
Durable.
He has never, ever, besides in the finals or where he had cramps the one time, he's never been injured.
Like for a couple years there, he was known for having the cramps. But I mean,
for a guy who plays as physical, as many minutes as he does at his age, to never be injured is fascinating to me.
Even Michael Jordan broke his foot.
That's what I mean. And even all these high-level athletes in all these other sports, I mean, they're still, injuries happen. They're unlucky. And I don't know if it's LeBron just being a freak of nature, a little bit of luck thrown in there, but to just be at the age he is, to play as many minutes he has, because he goes deep into the playoffs every single year he's in the NBA. Yeah. He's played so many minutes. He's always the number one guy. So
that's what makes me wonder: is he going to just ride the same sunset, or is it just going to get catastrophic?
Yeah, I don't know.
He's going to blow out both hammies on a dunk one day, and his arm blows off.
I feel like he's too smart.
I mean, he's only 32.
That's what I mean. I feel like he's not going to push his body to where he doesn't think his body can go. So I think the transition is going to be really seamless to where
he's going
to be the second best player on a team. He's going to average 12 assists in one season, just dish, shoot 45% from three, not really do anything physically down low or anything like that. But I mean, you can clearly see with the last series he had against Toronto, like, he's not slowing down, and everything that people said coming into the playoffs, how their defense was looking slow. Maybe this is going to be Toronto built their squad to beat this team, but then there they go, they sweep them.
Yeah, for sure. And do you think with the Raptors losing in this sort of fashion, do you think Dwayne Casey is sort of on a hot seat, if you will? Like, should he
has
worry?
To be.
Or
he has to be.
I mean, Kyle Lowry already came out.
He opted out
and said he wants to go play out west somewhere. I heard something kind of interesting today. I don't remember if it was Dan Le Batard's show or NBA Lockdown, but I heard him say how they talk about the East and how it's not as good and all this stuff. One of their theories was that maybe the East is that way because people don't go there because they're avoiding LeBron. They know that it's his conference, so it's like, well, maybe we can kind of duke it out in the West over here, and we'll just avoid that guy altogether.
But see, if I'm Toronto, okay, so just like the conversation we were just having, how much longer can LeBron do this? So if I'm Toronto,
you're waiting it out.
Blow it up now. I'm trading away pieces, get pieces to where maybe it's going to take a few years to build back up that talent. But if you have all these assets and LeBron starts to decline, then that's when your team can maybe hit their stride. Yeah. I mean, probably keep DeMar because they just paid him big money. Let Lowry go. I know Serge Ibaka's contract's up too because it was just the 1 year. Yeah. Let him go. I mean, clearly you're not going to pay a guy like that max deal anyway. Yeah. Lowry, you're not going to pay him max deal because why? I mean, he's been a great regular season point guard, but what has he done in the playoffs? Nothing. He's not a great defender. He's sort of been injury prone. So I don't think you give a guy like Kyle Lowry $200 million unless you think he's the future, and I don't think they do.
Yeah, he's.
If I was running Toronto, like I said,
I don't know where he's going to go out west.
You might not give it to him, but someone will give it.
Someone will.
Someone's going to give him crazy money. Like, look at the Celtics. They're starting to get into a stride and be able to mesh together very well as LeBron is sort of on the back stretch of his career.
And they still have very young players too.
They might become the Eastern powerhouse again.
I can definitely see that because they have a plan. Unlike the Bulls, where
they look in the future.
Exactly, they have all these assets from the Brooklyn trade that they're still holding on to because they know they're going to in the offseason they're going to take a shot at Paul George and Jimmy Butler again. So like the Celtics are looking in the future. I mean, Toronto, they need to start looking in the future because clearly, the present is not working. Yeah. I mean, they're getting. Granted, that's a great Cavs team, but you should win at least one game at home.
Yep. You should be able to close out one, especially when you took them to 6 last year. They won, but it took LeBron 3 games before he got one there.
And they built their team to win this series, and it's just incredible. Yeah, it just shows LeBron.
But the Cavs,
you need a super team now.
Everyone says that they built it to beat them, but then what people fail to look at is that the Cavs didn't just come back exactly the same. The Cavs evolved from last year
upgraded too. Yeah.
So I mean, it's a whole different ball game. And as far as the defense goes, the defense doesn't really matter at this point. Because
it's going to matter when
it's
they
a
play
shooting game.
It's going to matter when they play the Warriors.
I don't think it's going
matters.
to. The Cat. Look at their roster. Nothing but shooters. They're going to outshoot them. They're not trying to out-defense them.
You can't.
They're just going to go in there and try to out-defense.
Almost no team in the history of the NBA that can outshoot the Warriors.
No, but there was no team that came back from 3-1 last year either until that man right there. That man with a bunch of shooters.
Yeah, but that okay, everyone knows that if Draymond didn't get that suspension,
but that's what they're going for. I'm saying the Cavs are going to outshoot them. They're not trying to out-defense them. They don't have anybody that can play defense on their bench.
A ton of fouls.
Yeah,
LeBron's going to draw a ton of fouls, and if he's playing like this in the finals, I think they're done.
But then again,
I'm already going to go out on a limb and say this is another LeBron year. I think he's taking it.
But see, that's just
taking it.
That just okay, because the Warriors have been so great this year.
I'm not gonna.
And they're underrated. The Warriors are underrated this year because of the ease at which they're winning. Because they haven't even turned on that last year yet.
You guys want to talk about the Warriors then, real quick?
Yeah, well, we might as well. We might as well go into the Warriors Jazz because the game is tonight.
Yep. Let's just
I don't think anyone thinks that the Jazz can win a game.
No.
I mean,
it's done.
You can see Clay and Steph had their worst shooting performance in the playoffs as a team together, and look who comes along and takes the game, Kevin Durant. So, it just shows that they have so many weapons to where any of those guys can have a bad night, two of those guys can have a bad night, and they are still have so much firepower.
Yeah.
So, they're going to
those are the only 4 firepower they have. When those guys go off the court, it's going to be interesting to see how the matchup ends up going in the finals. Because, I mean, let's face it, if one of them don't get there, it's going to be because somebody gets majorly injured or
the Rockets just shoot lights out for 3 or 4 games.
Yeah, you know, it's just like I don't think anybody doesn't think that it's going to be the Warriors Cavs.
See, and I've heard arguments today too that this playoff so far, these first 2 rounds have been super underwhelming because everything that we thought would happen is happening.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it just looks as if it's going to be Cavs Warriors again, and when it's not something that people can talk about, and there's not hot button issues to have hot takes about how oh yeah, I think the Celtics do have what it takes to beat the Cavs, because no one truly believes that. They really don't. No one thinks that. I mean, Spurs Rockets, they could probably. I think if they play the Cavs, that would be a decent. But they're in the West, so I just think the top 4 teams, only one of them is in the East. You know what I mean? The Cavs. So.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so I think Golden State, I think they win easily tonight. And I mean, as far as the Jazz go, it's been a good season. I mean, they came in as the 4 seed, and I believe or maybe the 5 seed.
It sucks that they're going to probably get a little split up after this.
I don't know, because
it's interesting. It's going to be interesting to see what happens this summer.
Because they showed that they just ran into a juggernaut.
Yeah.
Anybody else,
that's what's going to keep happening.
Utah's exactly. See, that's what's tough. Because Utah's a good team. They're well-rounded. They have a good
young core that's going to keep growing and developing.
Defensive-minded big man, superstar, in my opinion, in Gordon Hayward. Aging veterans like Joe Johnson who can still come in and put buckets in, Boris Diaw. So I still think Utah has a bright future, but like I said, they just ran into one of the best teams we've seen in the last decade.
Yeah. And, I mean, Gordon Hayward through this series is shooting 47% from the field.
I mean, he's a great player. He really is a great player.
He was averaging. AD is out rebounding. Oh, he's averaging the most rebounds.
Surprise me.
I would think that Draymond would get those. Draymond's averaging.
Durant's also 8 inches taller than Draymond.
Draymond's leading assists.
Yeah, again, that just shows how much they spread the ball.
And you know
around.
what's funny? I looked up. Everyone was talking about how Curry didn't do he wasn't himself. But I looked up his stats of the year. No, I looked up the stats at the end of this year, and his stats match his career.
That's what I mean.
He played just how he always plays.
That's what I'm saying.
Good.
It's because of the year he had last year was so amazing.
Yeah.
In the amount of threes he made, just everything. He was always in prime time, always making great plays, dribbling, stealing, passing. So So he was in our face so much last year because he was the face of the franchise, and now that Durant's there, it's sort of muddied the waters when it comes to who gets.
2015, the year he first won his MVP, was a better year than last year.
That's why
2015 he shot 30 points a game, 50% from the field, 45 from 3, 5.4 rebounds, 6.7 assists, 2.1 steals. 2016 it was 25.3 points, 47 from the field, 41 3-point, 4.5 rebounds, 6.6 assists, 1.8 blocks. Or steals, not blocks. That'd be crazy if you averaged that many blocks.
I'm going off tonight.
Curry just flying.
But yeah, I mean, I still watch the game, even though usually when I turn on a Warriors game, about 15 minutes into it, you can just see the way it's going to go.
Oh, yeah.
You can just see. I mean, those guys have fun with it, too. But you can just see that, like I said, the ball movement and the shooters that they have, in the way that they're building their rotation to where they can have one of these elite guys on the floor pretty much at all times.
Yeah,
I just think it's incredible. But yeah, Spurs Rockets last night. After Game 3, there was part of me that thought, okay, here's the Spurs. They're gonna this team. Everybody thought after Game 1 Rockets were gonna sweep.
Yeah, they were just.
I was right there. I watched the game and you could just see how dominant and how many threes they made in the spacing. The Spurs looked slow.
Yeah,
they looked sluggish.
They very slow.
Here we are, Game 5, and it's a tied-up series. Rockets came back in Game 4, looked good again. Harden played really well.
21.1.
Nene's out for the rest.
That is a big blow because him on the pick and roll has been really good. He looks as young as he has, even with his gray in his hair and his beard. I mean, he's been huge in that series.
Man, Nene's getting up there. Nene's been around for a while.
But I mean, he fits perfectly on this Rockets team.
And definitely, is Nene being gone the whole time a bigger blow than Tony Parker being gone?
Absolutely not. Tony Parker is the floor general because Kawhi is the guy, obviously, but Tony Parker is what moves it and what makes things go. And when if Tony Parker's putting up 20-plus points, the Spurs are as good as any team in the NBA.
Yeah.
Because when he's moving...
Even if he's in high teens.
That's what I mean. And when you watch him play, he's older. I mean, granted, he's been in the NBA for 16 seasons. He was drafted in 2001. Yeah. So he's had those miles, too. But he still has those bursts where he'll score 6, 8, 10 points in a row for the Spurs. Yeah. You can just see he's clicking it. He's slippery when he comes off. He's just elusive and he's hard to guard. So
people don't really. I mean, he's small. I mean, he's not as small as Isaiah Thomas, but he's a small guy.
And he uses that Euro style, that sort of elusive, slippery attitude, where he's hitting shots off the pick and roll with ease.
Yeah.
So I think that's the bigger blow. And I think overall that's going to be more of an impact than Nene because they can bring in Capella, Montrezl Harrell, young guy they can bring in. So. I think the impact is higher for Parker being out. But I still think this series is going to go 7.
Yep,
I think
same here.
They're both well-coached teams. D'Antoni's coached really well this year. Pop's always one of the best coaches in the NBA.
Yep.
So I think it'll go 7 just because these coaches are having a little coaching battle between the battle on the floor.
Yep, it's over the roster. It's over the lineup changes.
Absolutely.
And who they're submitting and who's hitting and who's not. And, I mean, it's a lot different for the Rockets when you have Evan Gordon and Lou Williams coming off the bench. Eric Gordon and Lou Williams coming off the bench for you. And,
that's nice to have.
They're always dependable.
I like that.
Nene's supposed to have an MRI, so hopefully everything's all good there.
So who do you think's going to come out then? I know we picked, obviously, before the series started, but now that it is 2-2, do you have a feeling of which way you think it's going to go?
I honestly think that I just feel like how James Harden... I know Kawhi, man.
It's a tough one because they're two very different teams in their styles of play.
Yeah.
The Spurs want to grind it out with you, but...
I would just rather... I think I would also... Who do you think would give Golden State a bigger run for their money?
Rockets all day. Just because of their shooting ability.
Yeah.
And their shooters off the bench, like you just said. Yeah. So
they got some length.
I just would like to see Trevor Ariza as a lockdown defender who
He's starting to come on now in this series. He kind of didn't show up for his first game.
Yeah,
in the last two
as we were watching the other night, he just, even with all the weapons that the Rockets have, then you're like, oh my God, they have Trevor Ariza too. Like, this guy's hitting every three.
Yep.
He's usually guarding their best player. And so I think at the end of the series, it will go 7, but I just think the upside is the Rockets. I think the Spurs just don't have enough firepower. Just like I said at the beginning of round 2 when we were making our predictions, I just thought the Spurs' second best player in LaMarcus Aldridge.
He's only had like really one.
He's been having a really tough series.
Yeah,
he really has.
Tough season.
Yeah, he really has, and I just think the win they had last night. James Harden is just going to keep getting better. I mean, in the playoffs, he's just plays so hard. And even when he's not playing well, Lou Williams is still putting up 20 points. Yeah. Eric Gordon's still hitting threes. So it's just a really hard team to beat in 7 games.
Yeah.
So I think they will give the Warriors the best shot in the conference finals.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
But yeah, and then across to the East, another 2-2 series, Celtics-Wizards.
Yeah, my gosh. I mean, the Celtics ended up taking it. Or no, the Wizards ended up taking it. 121 to 102.
Yeah.
I mean, I was tweeting during the game, and I was saying that Beal, Walt, and Gortat all need to show up for them to like do this and do it right, and they all ended up showing up.
Gortat's a gritty center.
Walt and Gortat ended up showing some good on-court chemistry, and they worked very well in that game. I mean, they need to put a game like that together in Boston if they want to win this game. At third quarter, it was literally, I was watching it, super tight the whole time. I'm thinking, man, this is going to go either way. Like, this is wild. Mm-hmm. And then a 26-0 run.
Yeah.
And the third, and then the game was over.
That's incredible.
I mean, that's basically it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
that shows, again, what the firepower that the Wizards do have. Because you do have John Wall, Bradley Beal, and I just think those two guys are elite, and they're proving that they're elite.
Yep.
But as you mentioned, the fact that now they have to go back to Boston, and Boston right now probably has the best home court advantage in the NBA.
Oh,
their crowd is...
Their crowd's crazy.
You can hear it on your television very, very loud. So, and I think Isaiah just feeds off that. I think the Wizards have the better chance to win the series, but then again, I think with Isaiah being as clutch as he is and those home court games, I think it's going to be tough for the Wizards to beat them on their home court. But then again, the Wizards during the series, it really shouldn't be 2-2 because of the big leads that Washington keeps having in the series. But then, sure enough, Boston chips away. Isaiah hits a few threes, 3-4, and then they're right back in it. Yep. So and then Isaiah in the fourth quarter is one of the best scorers in the fourth quarter in the entire NBA. So I heard in the post game presser that Wall he's really confident in the way they're playing. He thinks they have the momentum, and I think if he has that mindset and they have the ability to channel that 26-0 run, and like you said, Gortat, I mean, the guy does everything you want as a center.
Yeah.
He's gritty on the boards. He's a good pick and roll guy. He can pass the ball, and he accents John Wall and Bradley Beal in that offense really well.
Yeah, he does. You said something that sparked a light in my head that I wanted to mention earlier when we were talking LeBron. People were talking about how we've never seen it before. We've never seen him like this before, and really, if you think about it, we've never seen him play fully. He's always had pressure, something on his back.
Right.
Now that he has a championship at home, like he doesn't care, and he's playing. I feel like 100% relaxed.
Yeah,
now.
I can
and that's
see
why
it.
we've never
seen. You can see it.
That's why we've never seen it
on the floor and stuff.
That's why we've never seen like maybe his numbers and stuff like this because we've never seen him play without that pressure of everybody. Like, are you going to get it? Are you going to get it? Now it's like,
and with Miami, he was the villain.
Yep.
Everybody hated him. Then he comes back to Cleveland. Everybody's still on the fence. Like, yeah, I don't know if this is the right decision. Then he wins the title. Now he's got the titles. He came back to his hometown team, won a title. Now he's in the following season, and like you said, he really doesn't have anything to lose because now everyone's talking about him as the best player ever.
Yeah.
Like, just after he swept 2 teams
yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
It's so LeBron's career, as in public opinion, is just like a roller coaster. It's whatever the flavor of the month is and how he's playing, how he's acting, some weird social media stuff that he puts up. But yeah, like you said, that's a great point. Right now is the least controversial season he's had.
He's going into this postseason as like, hey, please beat that villain team in the West now. Like they're now the villain team. And it's like, hey, please take them down, King James. And everyone's just like bowing at his feet, basically. But yeah, that was just something I'm glad I remembered that. But yeah, sorry. I heard Isaiah Thomas say that back to Celtics Wizards randomly. But I heard that he felt that he was being held quite a bit in the last game, and that it's just I don't know.
That's the new thing with
calling out the refs
players
instead of just being like,
playoffs.
He didn't play good.
I think because there has been previous like records of when people do call out the refs, players, coaches, etc. It kind of does affect the way that the refs do ref the game. And so if you can get that little bit of an edge to where Isaiah says that things and, okay, maybe you think down, like, okay, well, the refs are never going to take that into account. Well, guess what? The refs probably heard that pressure. They know that, and in the back, that's going to be in their back of their head. Maybe that'll be 1 or 2 or 3 calls a game, but then that's worth it. Because, he said he's been hitting the floor a lot, off screens, he's been roughed up. But guess what, dude? You're 5'7" in a league that's full of 7-footers. So, I mean, your size does does play a part in calling fouls because you are smaller. You're going to be getting more ragdoll because if you run into a pick, you're going to fall over just because you're smaller. So, I mean, I see where he's coming from, but I think, like I said, I think he's trying to get maybe a few extra calls a game.
Yeah.
Which I don't hate because if you're trying to do anything you can just to bring your team just that much closer to winning.
Especially when you're, like you said, a very small person in a very big man's game.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, it's just, do you have anything else in the playoff area?
I think that's pretty much it. Like I said earlier, a lot of people thought that this has been a pretty underwhelming, sort of very predictable
series. The games have been kind of fun, but the series.
If you're an NBA fan, the games are fun. But as a whole, there's not a lot coming out of these games.
Because at least before it was always like, oh, well, LeBron's going to get to the East. And then it was like, oh, well, in the West, we got like a 3-4 team battle. You know? So that's going to be kind of who's going to be facing LeBron.
Right.
Now it's like, okay.
It's sort of coming down to what everybody thought it was.
Yep.
The Warriors are seemingly going to sweep. And then, obviously, the Cavs just swept.
Yeah. So,
some other stuff that came out in the NBA. The Michael H. Goldberg NBCA Coaches of the Year came out. Well, this year it's coaches because it's a dual award. Mike D'Antoni and Eric Spoelstra. So I'm not necessarily a fan of the whole dual awards thing. I mean, granted they both had great years as coaches, but it sort of takes away from each of them that they both got Coach of the Year.
But do you think that it's, in my mind, I feel like it's not that I would have been upset if it would have been 2 coaches from the same conference.
Right.
I like that it's from East-West.
Yeah, East-West.
I think if they were to I kind of like the thought of give a Coach of the Year award to each conference.
I don't mind that at all.
I think that would be kind of cool because it's its own different thing.
It's its own, So
I think
they play each other within each other.
Yeah, I think it'd be kind of cool to do the Coach of the Year as like a conference. So there is 2 Coaches of the Year each year, but I mean, it's whatever.
Yeah, but I mean, your guy Eric Spoelstra won.
I know.
And I mean, when we've talked,
awesome.
We talked previously on a couple episodes back on our predictions for all the awards and whatnot, and you had Spoelstra. And I thought that was a great pick because of how terrible their season started and how great it ended.
11-30, 30-11.
That is just incredible.
Yeah.
But
41-41.
But that makes me think he's Coach of the Year, but what was he doing those first 41 games?
Well, we had a lot of injuries and stuff. We were dealing with
you're right.
And stuff. So it wasn't really his bad coaching.
And it was the first season without
no
Dwayne.
Bosh, Dwayne, nothing.
That was tough to start, but after the All-Star
for him to make that turnaround, though, If you had doubts about him being a good coach,
the reason why he deserves Coach of the Year is for his ability to get something productive out of Dion Waiters.
Yeah.
Like, are you kidding?
No coach has ever been able to do that.
Dion Waiters, like we've always said,
he was playing with LeBron. Everyone talks about how LeBron can make people become like, he took J.R. Smith,
Dion Waiters,
Shumpert, and now it's like he had Dion Waiters, and I'm sure he was like, yo, we gotta get rid of that guy, man.
Oh my God, he probably thinks he's a better player than LeBron.
He thought
he thinks he's just as good as LeBron.
They joked about him being like Mario Chalmers, which I hope Mario Chalmers comes back to the league. I know he tore his ACL.
Yeah, I'll say he had a rough one. He blew his Achilles or something
like that. But yeah, I hope he makes his way back. But yeah, so they always joked with him being the big four down in Miami. And it was always Dion Waiters with.
Dion Waiters is hilarious. But yeah, for the ability for Erik Spoelstra to get what he got out of Dion Waiters is a feat in and of itself, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But then D'Antoni, it's pretty clear. I mean, that's kind of an obvious pick, just because of the way the Rockets have just
the turnaround too.
Yeah, exactly. How quickly they came to be one of the best top 4 or 5 teams in the NBA.
Yep.
The ability to get James Harden to start facilitating. He's not a core defensive guy, but he's sort of given him the ability to not really have to focus on the defensive end, just sort of be formationally in the right spot, and then just rain down from 3 on the offensive end. All the speed and all the space that they've been given, that he's implemented in this offense, has been huge. So, and I mean, like right now, they're giving the Spurs everything they can handle.
Yeah.
And that was my Coach of the Year, was Pop. So, if D'Antoni, Coach of the Year candidate, is taking down one of the best coaches in NBA history, I think that speaks for itself.
Yeah, definitely. Now just we're gonna wrap up the NBA segment with just a little fun thing. NBA players that we think could transition into the NFL.
Okay, so I'll give a little precursor on why we're talking about this. So I was having a few beers with one of my buddies, and he's not an NBA fan at all. Hates the NBA. He's just one of those people who just doesn't think the people in the NBA are up to par with people in the NFL. So I kind of got in an argument. I was really trying to portray him like, okay, these athletes that are playing in the NBA, a lot of them have or had scholarships to go play football.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, when you're 6'10", you don't play football because your knees and your legs, but they have the ability to. So when I brought up, I mean, obviously LeBron's the one you always think about. So LeBron's 6'7", 6'8", 260. He doesn't release his weight very 270-ish. So I was just trying to explain to him, if you don't think that LeBron James, the physical freak that he is, could transition, or if he decided to play football instead, wouldn't be elite, then I think that's very close-minded. So, yeah, let's get into a little bit of the players that you think, because I feel like I wanted to go, because I feel like the obvious one's LeBron, so I left him out.
Yeah.
You know, it's clear. I mean, he could play tight end, and he would be one of the best in history. With his ability to jump, his speed, his vision.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he could be absolutely
He was a wide
incredible.
receiver in high school.
Yeah, got D1 offers for Ohio State and stuff is what I've heard. But, yeah, so who do you have? I'm interested to see, because we didn't talk about these before.
I had my one as LeBron just because that was the obvious one I figured we would all talk about.
Damn,
and
we
then
do have 2 of the same.
And then I did Kawhi Leonard and Russell Westbrook. I know he's smaller, but I mean, with the emergence of
but he's
small
not
people
as
like
far as football.
Julian Edelman and stuff like that.
But you realize
small.
Russell Westbrook's 6'5".
Yeah.
That's as tall as any receiver in the NFL.
Russell Westbrook is not 6'5".
He's 6'4" at least.
You think he's only like 2-3 inches shorter than LeBron?
Yeah, I think he's taller as a point guard. I don't think he's 6'2", 6.
Can you look that up?
Look that up real quick. But yeah, I'll give you mine. The way I looked at it, I tried to.
But those 3, all freak athletes.
Absolutely,
6'3",
200 pounds.
So he's probably like 6'1", 6'2".
That's the perfect wide receiver, slot receiver that you
could
could have. Yeah. So let me list my. The way I thought about it was I wanted gritty guys, tough guys, defensive guys, but I did have Westbrook just because if he's a physical freak and what you see him do on the floor, I feel like it could translate easily into the NFL. But yeah, I did have Kawhi too. I mean, big hands, lockdown defender.
Play a wide receiver role.
I mean, linebacker, outside linebacker, something like that. And then I had Jimmy Butler. because I think Jimmy's an engine guy on the Bulls. You know, he dives on the floor for steals. He goes across. I mean, he's like I said, he's an engine guy. He runs all over the floor.
Yeah.
He does everything. He's big. He's muscular. He's durable. So I thought of him. Like, I mean, I feel like a lot of these guys translate into wide receivers. Another guy on my mind, just because I didn't want to go all like, oh, they could probably be a wide receiver. So I thought Draymond, a defensive end. Draymond's got the fire. You know what I mean? Yeah. He's got the athleticism.
You can see him on defense. He reminds me of like a Richard Sherman-esque player.
Yeah, who's got the grit to do it. So, Keith, who do you have a few then?
Well, yeah, I would say DeMarcus Cousins would be a good one.
Oh, God.
He'd be a psycho.
A defensive tackle.
Like
just
being gritty. Like
just a mean dude. You think of the mean dudes who are trying to really just...
just for pure athleticism, the Greek Freak.
Oh, yeah. That's true.
And then
I feel like he could catch a ball like halfway across the field in the sand.
Yeah. And then, dude, for a wide receiver, I mean, like I would do John Wall for a wide receiver.
Oh, just speed.
That'd be good too. Yeah, he's
very fast, athletic.
He's so good in transition, dude.
Yeah, it's crazy to see his vision too when he's running through.
Yeah. Can you imagine even somebody like LeBron playing quarterback with how high IQ
the Cam
his
Newton
vision
effect? Cam Newton's very similar size to LeBron.
Yep.
And that's one other thing that
he's like Harden. He's like a quarterback.
Yeah, James Harden as a quarterback. But yeah, so I just thought, I mean, I know all three of us agree that I just feel like NBA players, they chose to play in the NBA because of their height, probably. Obviously,
not all of them, but the superior talent.
That's what I mean. Because you're not going to play. You're not going to play. Have you ever seen a wide receiver at 6'10"? No. It just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Because they play basketball instead. So, and I think a lot of the guys who are in that range of 6 foot to where they could have played football, why are you going to choose to play a sport where you crush your head? The injuries are all over the place. Your career is...
The average career is like 3 years.
Yeah, if that. And the guaranteed money is not nearly what it is in the NBA.
Yeah.
And I just think all the perks that go along with being in the NBA represented as a baller. You know, like the whole baller. Yeah, you see their face.
I would so much rather be a professional basketball
Absolutely.
player over a professional
Absolutely. 100 times
over. What you're going to do? You're probably most likely
Paul George is
new knees or
Paul
something.
George is the
ankles
very,
and stuff,
very
but you're
prime
going to get that same
Larry
exact
Bird,
stuff in football, dude.
That wasn't
Larry Bird did that putting a driveway.
I know, that's why I said it wasn't basketball, but he fucked up
literally broke his back.
Yeah.
Putting in a driveway for
because he refused to hire out and have someone do it.
But yeah, we're going to take a quick break here. But in the chat, if you guys want to list maybe a few people in the NBA who you think could possibly translate into the NFL, I think that'd be a cool thing. And if you disagree, tell us why. But
just before we go to commercial break here, quick. I know Jared's gonna hate this, but the WNBA is about to start, and that is
bear with us.
That is Saturday, May 13th. There's a triple header. We got the San Antonio Stars against the New York Liberty. The LA Sparks, who are the returning champs, against the Seattle Storm. Seattle Storm have like Brianna Stewart from UConn and stuff like that.
Yeah, the one that everybody knows.
The one,
yeah. And let's see, we got the Atlanta Dream against the Connecticut Suns. Sunday, Chicago Sky against the Lynx.
Quick question for you, Jared. If you had a gun to your head, name 4 teams.
4 teams?
I just named like.
But I know the Sky just because of Chicago. I know the Sparks. I know the Lynx. And I think that's about it.
You don't know it then? You're done?
Yeah, I'm done. You're going to have to take me out. I don't know.
Oh, man.
Oh.
But Seattle Storm had... Or no, dang it. They changed the Dallas Wings now. Skylar Diggins.
Yeah, I dig Skylar Diggins.
She was on the Tulsa Shock, but they changed.
Tulsa. Great time.
They're in Dallas now.
But yeah, it's not that I don't like women's sports, but when it comes to basketball, I'm not going to act like I enjoy something that I don't.
The product from dudes.
That's what I mean. I can't, like you mentioned, I can't go from watching Giannis Antetokounmpo take like 4 steps across the whole floor like a giant and just put the ball in the net and like go to like a little 5'6" Skylar Diggins who hits a 3 every now and then.
I like it.
I respect their talent. I respect what they do for a living.
Way better than any 5 that we could come up with to go play them.
Yeah, I don't know.
You think
No, I'm
5
just
of
kidding,
us
I'm just
could
kidding.
beat an
I'm just
WNBA?
I mean, my soul knows because it's.
Okay.
Anyway,
Yeah, we're
let's
gonna
go to
break,
break, man.
Yeah.
Nice. We're on Ireland.
We are right now. We are brought to you by Iron Lion Disc Golf Supply. Be sure to check out their shop. They're located off 16th Street in Moline, Illinois. Or look up their Facebook page or go to their website at ironliondgs.com. They got great selection, any type of disc you would want. They can point you in the right direction and help you out with whatever need, disc related.
Play it for me.
Well, I don't think I can remember.
If she can stand it, I can.
back.
We're going to start with a stretch.
Dude, it was like a bad time, but it felt so good.
Oh, my back. We're back.
We are here to talk disc golf. Normally I do a disc of the week segment. We are going to kind of jumble that together. My disc of the week is the Roc X3. It's been out for a little bit now. It was released a little while back. But we are going to give Nick Duran of Innova Discs a call, and he's going to review it for us and tell us about it. I haven't picked one up yet, so I can't really. I've heard what it's kind of like, but I don't really know for sure.
Yeah, it'd be nice to hear from someone who
yeah
really does a lot of it.
Yeah. He knows exactly what it's about.
Yeah.
Let's get him on the line and see if we can see what's up.
He's been on before, previous with us. If you haven't seen him, we have a full interview with him. What episode was that? Back in
episode like
he was our first guest. So
7 or 8.
If you like what he has, go check out our last episode or one of our previous episodes.
The music's pretty loud.
Yeah, it'll turn. Don't answer.
Well, maybe we'll get him. Oh, it says his Skype isn't letting him. Well, maybe we will postpone that.
Maybe call him on. Call him on the phone and just put it on speaker if we could.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll try that.
Hopefully you'll be able to hear it through the mic. I think.
We've done this before.
Improvisation, live shows.
Yep.
On the fly.
On the fly. Helmet's Headband.
Hello. Hey, Nick. How's it going?
Doing good, man. Hey, sorry about the Skype. Like, my phone is not letting me in at all.
No, it's all good, dude. We got it figured out, so this will work just fine.
All right, cool deal.
Awesome. Well, how have you been, man?
Been good. Just been finishing up high school and been focusing on that a lot.
Yeah. When are you actually finished?
June 2nd is the day I get a walk. So
Nice.
Yeah.
That's a good feeling.
Yeah,
weeks.
dude.
Well, that's senioritis.
No, not at all. I need to get this done.
Yeah, that's for sure. I kind of told people about the Roc X3 a little bit, but I haven't thrown it, so I don't really know that much about it. Can you kind of fill us
the Roc
in?
X3 it's the exact same feel as the Roc 3 that you get from any Walmart, or not Walmart, but stores that you can go to on your local retailers.
Yeah.
And it's the same exact feel as the Roc 3, but it has a more stable flight, more like a gator, if you would like to say that.
Really? See, that's kind of what I heard. So did they basically just do that because people like how the Roc feels so much that they just wanted to retool it a little bit?
I believe so. I mean, it makes perfect sense to me because the Roc has such more of a comfortable feel than the Gator in my hands, just because I've grown up with the Roc. I started throwing the Gator beginning of last year, I want to say, and I had some grip issues with it, but then they came out with the Roc 3, the Roc X3, and they had me test it out, and this disc immediately went in the bag. It was probably one of the quickest discs to actually make the bag in forever and a half.
Really?
Huh.
Wow. So is it like, have you found it, it's like now a part of your game very much so? You're reaching for it almost every round you play?
Every single round that I've played so far, I have grabbed it multiple times, and it's probably the most trustworthy disc in my bag right now.
Wow. Man, that's
interesting.
Wow. I kind of have an itch to go get one of these now.
So, okay, what grade would you give it then? I mean, it sounds like you're really happy with the way it turned out. So if you had to give it a grade, what do you think you would give it?
Honestly, on a scale of 1 to 10, it's a 10 in my mid-ranges. Like, it actually took the Gator right out of my bag, like, within that couple days. So, It was a disc that I was very comfortable with right away out of the box.
And do you attribute that also to the fact that it is just a rock mold? So you instantly felt, right when you hold it, you're just like, yep, this feels normal. And it's just, you just think of it as like, all right, this is just my really beefy rock.
Yeah, and that's all it was. Is just something that I can actually put a lot of force on and throw 100% as hard as I can. And it won't go as hard as my Roc 3s, but it does the job.
That's awesome. Well, man.
I haven't had the thing flip over on me yet, even in headwinds or anything.
Jesus.
Really?
That's odd. Wow. Sounds like they really, I don't know. It sounds like they really like, man, it's blowing my mind right now, like how overstable it like sounds like it is. Like it doesn't even flip over on you. That's awesome. Great for definitely here in Illinois where it gets pretty windy.
It's a lot like the Eagle McMahon, the new run of the MD3s, the glows.
Yep.
But a little bit more stable than that. So it's definitely up there between the Gator and I want to say the glow MD3s.
Wow.
That Eagle has.
Man, that's awesome. Well, dude, I want to thank you again for joining us and just giving us a fill-in on that. It definitely makes me want to go get one. I'm probably going to have to go down to Iron Line and snag one within the next couple of days.
If they have ABR3s, grab a couple of those. Those things are money. They took the P2s right out of my bag even.
Oh, wow. Man, that's awesome, dude. Thank you again for just calling. Even though it wasn't Skype, we didn't go the way we thought. We still made it work, and we appreciate it very much. You took time out of your day to just talk to us for a little bit, man.
Of course, guys. You always have me over here if you ever need a call or anyone want to talk. I'm always here for you guys.
Awesome. You have any sponsors? Anyone you want to thank out there?
Obviously, Innova Champion Disc for always hooking it up with the freshest plastic and always making sure that I'm always looking good and growing good. Twisted Flyer, they've always had a pretty good name on my back, and they've always helped me out. And mostly my mom and dad and my little sister and my nephews. They're always pushing me to get to my next limit and find where I need to be in life. So they're always pushing me.
Awesome, dude. Well, I hope you have a good rest of your evening, and congratulations on almost graduating.
Thank you.
Yeah, dude. We'll talk to you soon, man.
All right, thanks for coming on.
All right, you guys. For sure. Go Rockets.
Rockets fan.
Yeah, go
I
Rockets.
do remember that from the first time around. He was a James Harden guy.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, it's
He's
always
a really cool guy.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
that sounds like as good of a mid-range as is ever been made.
Dude,
Coming from someone who throws it, who knows it, who does it in competitions to where he's willing to trust it enough to, like he said, it was one of the quickest he's ever put in its bag.
Yeah.
I thought that was really interesting.
And if you're not curious or you're not familiar with who he is, he's a 5-time junior world champion.
So he knows what he's doing.
I mean, he knows what he's doing.
He knows. Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Now that he's about to graduate, he'll be able to start touring.
We're getting him early, people.
Yeah, it's awesome.
He's going to become a regular here on Helmets and Headbands.
But yeah, so other than that, the disc golf, there is a competition committee. There's a full article on Ultra World Disc Golf. If you go to ultraworld.com, you can find it. But with all the severe weather issues that they've been having, where stuff has been getting canceled,
as we talked on the previous episode,
we've talked about it on previous episodes. There's a committee set to meet. They're going to have a conference call, I think, this week, and try to address that problem that's been happening. It's this past year. It's happened 3 times, so it seems like, and people have been kind of, every time it's happened, there's been a gradual uprising of people getting upset about it. No makeup days and all this.
So.
Yeah, and the article goes really in depth about, like, what about makeup days? Well, what about this? It really breaks down everything that they're trying to do.
So see, I feel like, and they needed that. That's something that was needed.
And so it kind of gives you a really look into what they're thinking is going to work and what's not going to work and why it won't work also. So jump over to their website and give that a read. It's very interesting. And hopefully we see maybe a change set to take place within the next season or 2. I don't know how soon something like that will work.
Hopefully they can implement it as quick as possible. You know?
Yeah. And then this is more of a local thing, but over the weekend there was kind of an ace fund dilemma. Normally when there's an ace fund in a tournament and no one hits the ace, at the end it comes to a throw off, and normally the tournament director will pick like, okay, we're throwing to this basket
from this spot.
Yep, whoever hits it or closest to it gets it. And somebody hit it, but somebody hit it like made it. Somebody made it.
Okay.
And then somebody was underneath, and it ended up being where they split the money because the tournament director had said like, I'm paying the closest two.
Closest two is in the basket though.
See, that's where
I'm think logically here.
Yep. See, you're an outsider from this, so it's interesting to hear what your thought is on the fly. This turned into a big Facebook thing. There was a lot of comments on it. Like, I'm pretty sure there was a sponsorship that was dissolved over this. Like,
really? Wow.
Yep.
So how can you?
It was. I was shocked. I was like, whoa.
The purpose of disc golf is to get your frisbee in the chain.
But people felt that since the tournament director said, hey, I'm going to pay the two closest, it was the guy that was in and the guy that was right there.
Well, that makes sense.
See, and that's where it caused like kind of a rift, because in his mind, he was like, but I hit it. In a tournament, if I hit an ace, I'm not sharing with somebody who gets close. I hit it, though.
Yep.
So
it is two. It should have been the two then.
It's just kind of the gray area.
It's whatever was explained and agreed on before they did the throw off.
And
that's
the
what
TD was, he was busy, he was occupied. There was like 5 things going on, and he just announced it really quick.
Right.
So I mean, I can see the confusion.
And he probably wasn't expecting anyone to hit it.
I see both sides of it, but in my mind, he said the two closest.
Yeah,
but also being a disc golfer, I'm like, but
it's the ace fund. Yeah,
but he hit it,
and it's called the ace fund. And
so it's just kind of that weird anomaly where you got to kind of just have to be like, okay, he said the two closest. Those are the two closest.
Yep. That's what it has to be.
Yeah, it's just kind of a weird thing where it's like, that sucks.
It's like you said, it's that gray area.
Yeah, it's a gray area
between
it's crappy.
What happened and the rules that were put in beforehand.
Yeah, but yeah, that was just kind of a bummer. But other than that, I just wanted to move within the next, I think it's in 2 weeks, we have the Masters Cup that's going to be happening. It is the 19th of May to the 21st of May. It's happening in Santa Cruz, California. It's the next national tour event. I just wanted to get predictions. Who you think is going to win the male side, and who you think is going to win the female side.
Okay, so my predictions come from a standpoint of the tournaments that I've watched personally on Smashbox, and just the results that I feel are most consistent. So obviously Wysocki, I feel like he's had an incredible season so far. He seems like he's always top 3 every time. Every time we watch any tournament, he's consistent. He doesn't necessarily ever go over his head. He's always very steadfast, throws well, putts well. So Wysocki's mine for the males, and just someone who's just dominated and who has had some crazy scores in the women's side is Paige Pierce. I feel like she's the LeBron James of women's disc golf. I just feel like she's the one who's going to come out. She's the one who everybody thinks is going to win, so I'm not going to bet against her.
Yeah, she is also my pick for the female side. I was going to go Katrina Allen or Valerie Jenkins, because within the last few years, it's been like Paige Pierce has won 3 world titles over the last, like, I believe it's years like 11, 13, 15.
So she staggered them.
And then Katrina won one in 2014. Valerie Jenkins won like 2007, 8, and 9, and then she just won last year.
Okay.
So I mean, so I was kind of like, man, like Valerie's a little older. She's not too much older, but she's definitely not as near her prime as Katrina or Paige. But she just proved last year at Worlds that she still has it in her to put those rounds together.
True.
But I also
especially
went with
in
Paige
big competition,
because she is in that prime of her. She's like just you said, the LeBron James this year. It normally goes between her and Katrina, but it seems like Paige has had a pretty. Yeah. She's had like a grip lock on this season for the women's side, and for the male side, I ended up going with Paul Macbeth because it basically it's been a battle. It seems like either Paul or Ricky wins the tournaments this year. So which was basically last year, and Ricky ended up winning the majority of them and edging out Macbeth for Player of the Year and points and all that. National Tour, I believe he got like all that stuff. But Paul Macbeth, Santa Cruz, California. Macbeth is from Huntington Beach. He's right from there. Feel good playing from like home basically. And I just think he's going to be able to put rounds together that people aren't going to match. And he's going to take it on. So it's cool that we got two different males. So it'll be neat. Yeah, there is no disc of the week.
Well, disc of the week was the Roc 3.
Well, I'm just saying there's no like, I'm not announcing
anything. Right. Yeah, we just switched up the format.
We showed up the images of it. It's basically the Roc 3. It's just retooled a little different, so it's super beefy, like Nick Duran mentioned.
Explained, yeah.
But yeah, that basically wraps up the old disc golf. We're going to end it with some gaming. We're going to start with Overwatch. We're going to go underrated player. That was an idea of Jared right at the ending here. Who do you have and why?
Okay, so usually when it comes to the newer players that have come out, Ana, Sombra, and Orisa, you see Ana being used in comp games like the high stakes games. People are playing Ana. I do watch somebody on Twitch who plays Sombra really well, but me personally, I just can't get into it. I'd rather, if I'm gonna play a speedy, sneaky, I'd rather just play like a Tracer or something along those lines. But somebody that I've been playing a lot lately, who I've been utilizing in very high stakes, again, when I've been playing competitive, and I don't just use any character in competitive unless I feel comfortable and I feel like I can make a really strong case for in the actual game, and that's Orisa. I mean, when I first got out using her, couldn't really get it. I just, obviously with a new character, it takes a little bit to sort of get the muscle memory of what to throw and what to use at what time. And now that I've had time to sort of play her more, it's just, she's so powerful when it comes to any area where there's only a few ways in, mostly on the King of the Hill maps, like the point taking map. You can pretty much stall any movement they have because her shield, you can throw it out there, and once you throw it out, it's already regenning. So as they're pelting it and as they're hitting it, it's coming down, it's building your ult all along the time. Once it goes down, you automatically have another one right up there.
It kind of pushes you forward.
Exactly. And her clip in her gun is so big to where any Reinhardt, any tank that's coming towards you, you basically don't have to stop firing. No. You can just constantly rain down bullets, and then
it's higher speed fire than like Diva.
Exactly, and it's more accurate. It's longer. It's more damage, and then if they are starting to progress more to where they're getting towards your shield, that's when you use her left bumper, which on console would be left bumper. You shoot out basically her mini Diva ult, or excuse me, mini Zarya ult, where it's like a gravity ball. I don't know the exact term, but you shoot that, and then you can, as you want, you can pull them as far as it goes. So as they're coming at you, you shoot it through them, pull it, and it drags them back. So it's stalling. You're constantly stalling them by having constant fire, constant damage at all times, and then once your shield breaks and they are pulling towards you, that's when you press your defensive like matrix, where it just makes you very defensive driven. So then you can take a bunch of damage, and then you're still firing, and then you can pop your shield again. And her ult has gotten to where I've been able to. I believe they're gonna reduce it because of how powerful it is and how long it stays up. It buffs everyone's damage around you, and if you put it in the right area, to where, because it can be destroyed, it's basically just like an orb that she slams down, and everyone in a large radius. The radius is really large, and it just buffs their attack. And unless someone shoots it, I don't know the exact number of how long it stays up, but it's a while. Really? So like if they're making a huge push and you just pop that damage booster and you have your shield up, and then you can you feel like you're doing so much for the team when you play her. Yeah, I've gotten to the point where
yesterday we mauled.
Yeah, I bought a legendary skin for because I've been playing it a lot, and it's just been a lot of fun. And to have it be a new character that they've brought in and have me like it as much as I have, because all the other ones I just haven't really got into as much. But I really enjoy it.
Yeah. Mine I went with, and I don't know how underrated she is in the grand scheme of things.
Right, but to you, I mean, it's your personal opinion.
To me, I just played her quite a few times over the last maybe week or a handful of days, and Widowmaker. I have gotten so good at sniping in and just ripping people's domes clean off their shoulders. It's just insane what I can do with her rifle.
Yeah.
And if somebody gets too close to you, just being able to
and then
assault rifle them
assault
down.
Rifle,
You know, it's just she has a great little combo. And if you are getting in a little scary thing, you grapple hook away.
Yep.
And
I feel like she's very well rounded as a sniper.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And her ult, like when I do have a Widowmaker on the team, sometimes just as a gut reaction, I'm like, damn it, someone picked Widowmaker. It's a waste of a class.
And then you start seeing them go by.
And then you see your kill feed up at the top of the right, and then Widowmaker's picking people off. And that can be huge. If they're accurate enough to where they can pick off a Mercy or obviously any healer that's behind the fact, it's super valuable. And as I was saying, her ult is I think it's underrated as well, because it's giving you the ability to see where an enemy is at all times.
Yeah, I love it as a Hanzo.
Yeah, because as a Hanzo, you can aim.
All
can
right,
get
them come around that corner.
Yeah, you know if they're starting to feather over, and that's when you can just dink.
Yeah.
So I know. I think that's a great thing. I know. Yeah, I know that a lot of people, like I said, if I see someone on my team pick it, I'm like, come on, because if you suck as Widowmaker, you're doing your team as a disservice because you're just sitting out of sight, just doing nothing.
Yep.
So
I play with her personally because I'm not the greatest with her.
It's tough.
But when I get her on random player, I have a lot of fun.
It's fun. She's fun. She's very fun.
That's a good pick.
What about you?
If we're going underrated, and it's not just the fact that he's one of my favorite characters, but Junkrat is actually super
Junkrat's
underrated.
really fun.
Because I think in comp, some people get pissed when you pick Junkrat.
Yeah, but it's nice because if someone's stealing a point, you can throw in a C4 and blow up just scatter. It helps you move people away from it, so it's not like they're all mauling you as one huge force. And then I like the fact that you can trap. You throw down a trap, and it covers your backside. Even if they shoot it, you see that they broke it. If they step on it, then they're trapped. And then and the update where you don't get hurt by your own grenades.
Big time.
I think that made them way better. Because I used to have to worry about that in close confine. I would end up killing myself.
Can't be as crazy and wild. Yeah.
So now you can just be wild, like a crazy man.
Crazy wild Junker.
Like he is.
Yeah.
Like he's supposed to be. Exactly.
Yeah, he's supposed to be a crazy man.
So that's who I got.
Nice. The little thing I wanted to ask you guys, Ben and I were talking about it. We were just kind of hanging out. We had a beer together the other night, and we started talking about Overwatch. And actually, I don't even think it was when we were having beer. I think it was when we were disking we started talking about Overwatch. But we started talking about a team deathmatch mode. How crazy would those team deathmatches be with Overwatch characters?
You're just trying to.
But that's what Blizzard was trying to shy away from.
How crazy would that be, though?
I can't even understand it. Because it would be fun, but
it's just like the skirmishes in between because then can't find a map.
It's all about. See, I think the reason why they created Overwatch was it's just team. They wanted a team-based game because they're if you want to play team deathmatch and get as many kills as possible, that's what your Call of Duty franchise is for, and all those arcadey first-person shooter types games. But because I think if there was a team deathmatch on Overwatch, I just think a lot of people it would just be. No one would heal. No one would ever heal. Why would you heal? Because you want to get as many eliminations as possible. So you wouldn't heal. You would just pick. Everybody would pick Roadhog 76. All these
unless you're trying to
all these DPS.
Unless you're with a friend and you're running around trying to do something, I'm going to run around as Lucio to keep you healed up and people away from you. Stuff like that.
And I think they would have.
I think with everybody's ability,
it would be interesting.
It would be interesting to have a full team deathmatch.
I think it'd be cool. the type of maps that they could create.
You kind of get it with the 3-on-3 elimination. That's their team death.
Yeah,
match,
I guess that is true. It's
you don't
all
get to
search
come
and destroy
back
because
there's no objective, but it's
Right.
just to eliminate. But you don't. Yeah, there's no respawning, but it's just rounds, and that's their, and it's like
fun.
that.
I've had fun.
Yeah,
If I
don't
get-
see how it'd be
If I get on, and
dude, like you said,
think
you have
of-
to develop maps around
or
it.
not thinking, but if I get on and I'm waiting for like your brother or something like that, instead of doing like a quick play, I'll like warm up with a 3v3 or 2
Right.
just to like get my
the aiming down.
Yeah, and it's not as long of a game, but yeah, I just thought that was kind of fun.
Oh, yeah, that's interesting.
Log says no.
This is a fun conversation to have, but
Yeah.
they'll never do it. Like
No,
you said,
they'll never do
the game is created around a
Objectives.
team,
I
and
mean,
teams,
Team Fortress 2 didn't really have
Yeah.
team deathmatch, so.
yeah, they did.
I mean, you're still trying to get something.
Right, the capture the point type
Even-
things.
Yeah, even when they did, you're still trying.
Yeah, I guess there is still. Some
Yeah.
people would ignore it, but other times they wouldn't. But
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's what counts for.
Log, who was not here with us today, he said to ask you about the new Mario Kart.
yeah,
I saw him playing a little bit, but
I played it and I love it. Yeah, as blunt as I can be. Like, I'm a Mario Kart purist. Like, the first game, I mean, the N64 version, when we were in college, we played every single day, multiple times a day. Like, we got to the point where we knew every corner of every map, every box, every little bomb that you have to jump over. So I was a little bit reluctant when I knew that this was coming, and I knew Log, my roommate, was gonna get it, because I was like, man, I really hope they don't just like butcher what Mario Kart really is.
yeah.
And honestly, I got to the point where I loved it. Like,
Yeah.
I was playing it, and I was like, it still has the feel of the first 64 one. Exactly.
That's crazy.
The maps are awesome. The maps are so creative. The graphics are incredible. There's every character you could ever want from the Mario universe is in it. And
I almost feel like it would have been hard to screw up this game.
yeah,
Stick to the basics.
that's what's
Make the graphics better.
Yep.
Cool maps, and add more characters.
Yep. That's all. And it works. It works.
Why do you think that? Well, we'll get into that.
Yeah, but no, it works. It works, and I really, really enjoy it. And the part about the Switch that makes it so cool is I even played it with the handheld, as opposed to we first started playing on the TV and stuff, and then I played on the handheld, and like, there's not much in between. It's still very good.
Really?
It's still really good. It feels good in your hands, and some of the maps are so creative, and they are so pleasing to your eyes. Like, you find yourself looking around and just it's a really fun game. It honestly makes me want a Switch, because it feels like Mario Kart. It looks like Mario Kart. It's just updated, and I think from what we're going to next, talk about the new Call of Duty. I think that's what Call of Duty lost along the way, was they sort of got out of what got them to where they were, and
the basics.
I don't mind World War II.
I don't mind running and like being able to slide around a corner, because you can do that in real life. If you're running from somebody, you can slide and get away or whatever, you know?
It's just they lost me when the
jetpack.
The ELO suit, or the exo suit, or whatever it's
called. Yeah,
well, how the fact you're not even like a human anymore?
Yeah, like, you can be a robot. Like,
Yep.
no one wants, like, a Call of Duty game in its essence, and it's not even the fact that it was modern, because we've had Modern Warfare 1, Modern Warfare 2, that are
those are fun,
awesome games.
Modern Warfare 1, 2, 3, amazing.
It's not even about the modern aspect of it. It's the fact that they started getting they were appealing to, like, not true Call of Duty fans. They really weren't.
No.
Like,
they were appealing to like Halo fans and stuff like that.
This weird, jumpy, like, jerky, like, running up walls, jetpacking back. That's not what Call of Duty is about.
You're dead.
Yeah. And it's all it turned into only people using SMGs, because you just put on that exo suit, run around, just and like, they would get so good with these SMGs that no one used any other weapons, no one sniped anymore, no one. It just got to the point where it was such a watered down, shitty game. Like, no one wanted to play it. So shitty of a game that they had to package it with Modern Warfare 1 to get people to buy it.
Yeah.
Like,
They packaged it with Modern Warfare.
Now,
they knew that would rope in a lot.
Look at all these sales.
Yeah, they rope in all these original people who just want to play the real game. Yeah. So I think with the new Call of Duty being Call of Duty World War II. So I didn't like World at War. I wasn't a big fan of that.
I kind of had fun with
I loved World at War.
I didn't like it.
Yeah, the bouncing Bettys would just sever people's limbs.
This one I'm excited about because the games have gotten so bad over the last like 3 or 4, however many have just been garbage, that I wasn't a big fan of that. I was the biggest fan of. I didn't mind World at War. But if I'm sitting there and it's like, here's World at War, here's Modern Warfare, which is
that's
the most I'm putting in Modern Warfare all the time. But it's just like, I'm so glad they're going back to Classic. If it's World at War and I have a jetpack and I'm flying around, I'm going to be so pissed.
I think they know. Or at least I feel like they know.
To know that people were done with that stuff.
I got drawn in by Call of Duty when it first came out on the PC, and that's where I started.
It started with the World
way back. If you were to compare it from that one to like what it is now, it's hilarious.
Crazy.
It's so people are going through like
you can go invisible and like
It's like Counter-Strike to that.
It's just it just needs to be about the guns and just getting as many.
And go back to the skins the old way.
Yes.
I want to get my blue tiger from 75 headshots.
I want to earn skins.
I want to get
the
red tiger from 150 headshots, and then do crazy ones after that.
I don't want to get like a stripper's ass like painted all over someone's gun that they made, or like some crazy like $1,000 bill with like the dude's face in the middle of it. It's all over the front of the gun. It's like platinum gold and shit. I just can't stand.
I like the gold gun.
Okay, when you earn it.
Yeah, when you earn
it. Not all the ones that you just get in these boxes that they want you to buy and stuff.
It's like glowing.
The boxes are never going to go away.
Yes.
It's like made out of like pure radiation.
Dude, the boxes are never going to go away.
No, they're not.
All the games that have that box or crate system.
You're always going to get skins and stuff.
It's addicting. I was like, just the other night when we were all at your brother's house, he got on Overwatch to buy boxes. He bought 24 and opened them all right there.
It's like a reward system. It's just open it.
But think about how much, like, not only the sales of the game, but all of the people buying boxes.
Shout out to Locke. How many times has he bought that game over by now?
How much money have you given Overwatch alone?
But you know,
he's not mad at that though.
He's not mad. It's because it's a game that you truly like. That's what you want to spend your money on.
Yeah.
But then again, if you think about a skin, doesn't affect your gameplay at all.
Yep.
At all. Zero. Doesn't affect your gameplay at all.
Nope.
Makes you feel better.
Yeah, it makes you feel better inside.
Skins are wins, man.
Skins for the wins, man.
But yeah, I hope this Call of Duty, I hope they do it right. I watched the reveal thing and for a little bit at least, and the creators or whoever they had announcing it,
Sorry, go ahead. Well, I just came in with a $300 to $350 spending price that he's got between PC and console.
Wow. But yeah, so the people that were announcing it, you could feel that they knew kind of where they wanted to go with this COD. They're going heavy back into the campaign of how good Modern Warfare 1, 2 campaigns were. They were incredible. So they said they're really focusing on the campaign, and obviously they know multiplayer is where the money's at. So I feel like it's gonna feel like Call of Duty, but it's gonna look like World War II, and it's gonna be modernized to where the graphics are gonna be incredible.
Yeah.
It's gonna be good. I'm optimistic because I think they swung and they missed with the last several Call of Duties. So I'm hoping this one goes back to the roots.
Give me a Car 98.
You got
an M1 Grand.
Yes, a Colt pistol, just pop, pop, pop. Give me those sounds of the M1 Grand clip going ting.
I'd still want like an M4 and an AK and stuff.
I mean, you'll get
the mini Uzi. You'll get the
SMGs stuff
too.
Yeah.
Mini Uzi was
I'm gonna put in one of the old Call of Duty.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
Dude, World at War. That is an underrated one.
World at War was underrated.
It was okay.
It was pretty fun.
It was pretty garbage too.
Yeah.
Same with the first Black Ops. Black Ops 1 was
Those
garbage.
made a lot of money though, dude.
That was when we won.
Those made a lot of
money. That's what happened. It became a money grab, and then they started like kids want these alien
robots
cyborg things, and they're like
shooting
lasers at your
arms and stuff.
Yeah.
That's just not what Call of Duty is.
Well,
Yeah.
that's episode 13 of Helmets and Headbands. Yeah, that's basically it for you. Next week, fun little announcement. June 19th, we're going to have Juliana Korver on, 5-time women's world disc golf champion. She doesn't really play anymore. She retired back in like 05, but she does like frisbee contests and stuff like that still. So it's like a month away. Oh yeah,
she can huck a disc.
Oh, she could throw a disc if she wants to. She just had an In the Bag come out through Spin TV, so look her up and see what she all carries. But yeah, she'll be on with us, so that's very exciting. Yeah.
Thanks again for tuning in.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for Iron Lion for supporting us and being awesome, supplying the Quad Cities with some discs. And wish you all well. See you next week.
See you next week.